Welcome to Tint Wiz number 11. My name's Eric, and we do this every single Tuesday live on Facebook, 4 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. We go over tips, tricks, best practices for your window tinting business. So today, we are going to talk about something that affects every single one of us in business, whether you do flat glass, whether you do automotive, regardless, this affects you. It's in your hands. It can make or break your business. It can help grow your business. It's completely free. It's completely in your control, and you can start doing it today or tomorrow. So before we get into that topic, I do want to point out a new feature you've probably seen on Tint Wiz. It's a small little feature. Pull it up on the screen now, but you see here on the measurements area, so this would affect when you're creating flat glass, when you're adding measurements, excuse me. When you're down in here and you add, let's say we're gonna do windows, they're west facing, there's 4 of them, let's say they're 30 by 48. So you're gonna see it calculates that there's 40 square feet and it's already rounded to 40. Now the new feature is basically that if you don't, that's how it's been so it always rounds up to the nearest square foot. Now we did add now a configuration that allows you to set it so that it'll show you the exact precise measurement down to the decimal, 2 decimal places. So the way this works is, you see how it says round up right here, and this is a button to click? So these little question marks tell you what each area is, and what it's telling you here is that if you check it, it's going to round. If you uncheck it, it's not going to round. However, this isn't where you set it permanently. This is where, so I happen to pick measurements that come out even. Let me change that. So, okay, so this is where you can toggle it between the actual measurement, but where you want to set it in the settings area is right here in the settings. We're going to leave that. You're going to go to configure, and this is right here where it says round up measurement areas. I had that set, check there. So by default, it's going to round up my measurements, and that's how it's been, and that's how it continued to be. Now, if I uncheck that, and let's go back into measurements, and let's go to projects. I don't remember what project I was just in, but let's just jump in here. Might have been this one. All right, so let's add measurements in rooms real quick. Let's add a room. It's going to be a living room. Then we're going to click into the living room. And now we're going to add our measurements. Now we're back on that screen. You can see that it's no longer green checked. So when I type in, let's say 27 by 55, you can see that it shows me that it's 10.31 square feet, not rounding up anymore. So if you want to round it up, you can click it right there and you can see it'll round up for you. But if you want to set it as a default, so it's always one way or the other, again, that's going to be in the settings. And then you're going to go down to configure. And in that configure area, you're going to see a lot of different things. Appointment notifications, proposal notes, fine print, whether you want to show your address on the proposal, any invoice notes, so any like terms of payment or anything like that you can put there, and then it'll show up on every single one of your invoice. And then of course your logo height, and then down here round up measurements. So configuration, we're always adding different features in there. So this is one, and you might be wondering, why is this feature important? So first of all, if some people measure differently and some people calculate differently. So some people are just going to want the exact measurement. Others, find it beneficial to round it. But beyond just preference, when United States, obviously we use inches and feet, but for other countries that are using the metric system, it becomes critical that it can't round, because when you're doing square meters, those measurements add up to a lot more, waste essentially. So you need to know you can't just round, and that's where those decimal places come in. So if that's helpful to you, that is where you can configure it one way or the other. So moving on to the topic of the day. So like I mentioned at the beginning, this is something we can all improve on. It's completely free. It's completely in our control. And especially today, I think it's maybe the most important part of business and always growing. And what that is how do you talk to your customers? How you talk to your customers your tone of voice, how you sound, how you treat them, not only when they're just calling in and they want a service and you're ready to sell them, but how do you treat them when they're unhappy or when they're trying to take advantage of you. So I kind of want to talk about the different strategies to make the best of it and that you can implement to improve this area of your business, because this is an area of your business that, like I said at the beginning, it's completely in your control. How you speak to somebody, how you treat them. So you're in complete control of that. You're the only one in complete control of that. And it doesn't cost you anything. So out of 10 customers, if you can improve how you speak to them and you sell one extra customer, you upsell one extra customer, think about that. 10 customers maybe a day, or maybe you do 10 in a week, whatever it is. Even if you improve the experience for one or two customers a week, that can be hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per week that you add to your business. And that can also be referrals and good reviews. So that's, kind of what I want to jump into right off the bat is, what is the value of a good review and what is the value of a bad review? So the value of a good review, when you're able to reach the top tiers of review count. So what I mean by that is, in going back to, so on this screen, what I'm showing here, this is the Google local listings, okay? If somebody's searching like window tint Minnesota or window tint in the city, it's going to show those Google local listings. It's going to show a couple ads typically. Then it's going to show those Google local listings. This is probably where you're getting most of your business from, unless your Google local listing sucks. But if it's any sort of reasonable listing, this is where you're getting most of your calls from, most likely, because these will show up way ahead of your website. They'll show up ahead of Yelp and so on. People take this very, people hold a lot of credibility to these. These get called. They're not looked upon as ads because they're not ads. So you can see here 3 companies. These are random, and Sun Control Minnesota has 71, Bravo 182, and Tint World 113. Now in this case, who are you going to call? You're going to call the one with 182 reviews and 4.9. Why would you call one with less reviews and a lower rating? So when you're able to reach the top of your review count for your area, that can be literally thousands of dollars a day. And that can be the difference between you thinking it's slow in the winter, or it's dead in the winter, or you staying busy in the winter, because companies are staying busy throughout the winter season. If you're not staying busy, you don't have enough leads, you don't have enough exposure. But people are still doing PPFs, people are still doing wraps, people are still tinting their cars. While more people tint their cars in the summer because of the heat, plenty of people tint their cars just because they want privacy. And yeah, if, thousands of people are searching for car tinting in your area and you're able to stay busy, but you're only getting a small portion of the leads, when less people are searching, you're going to get a very, very small portion of those leads. And, it's going to feel to you like nobody's getting tint done, while realistically the top tier shops are getting tint done. So Google reviews, Yelp reviews, those are 2 important reasons why treating your customer, beyond the obvious reasons like you wanting to have pride in your business and you wanting to actually make people happy and provide them with a great service, the reviews will, in my opinion, make or break your business. So when you talk about what are the cost of good, or what is the value of a good review, the good review can bring you, one good review can bring you customers every single day for the rest of your business's life. And one bad review can turn off customers every single day for the rest of your business's life. So if one customer is turned off a day by reading this bad review, that means every day you lose a customer. That means you lose 365 customers a year. Then what's the value of that? I can tell you the value if they're a customer at an average of $200 is over, $70,000 a year, I think. Yeah, about $70,000 or so. So if, right there, what is that worth? And what did it cost you to do that? And what would be the cost if you wanted to grow your business another way by that amount? So, I really want everybody to just, everybody starts in a different place, and it's all about improving where you're at. So just try to pay attention to your tone of voice, try to sound as cheery as possible. And when you don't sound as cheery as possible and you find yourself getting upset, try to turn it into a challenge for yourself to where you feel like, hey, you know what? This customer is trying to rip me off. This customer doesn't want to pay sales tax. This is complete BS. When those challenging times come in are when you should feel when you should feel that it's a challenge. And instead of reacting to the customer, go ahead and say, hey, can I maintain my level of niceness the same way I would a customer that was, super polite and just wanting to buy the most expensive thing? When a customer calls in and they're just ready to hear what you have to say and they want the best product, you're super happy with them, you're ready to answer all their questions. When they want to haggle with you or they want to ask a lot of questions, a lot of times your tone changes slightly. I'm not telling you, but I'm just saying it seems to happen to most. Maybe they don't want to pay tax, they don't want to pay sales tax, you feel like they're trying to rip you off. Or they're telling you about the guy down the street that is using a subpar product. And the problem here is beyond the potential loss of money, but like when you do that, so think about this. You have a customer in there, they don't want to pay sales tax. Now for you can't understand for the life of you why a customer wouldn't think that they need to pay sales tax for window tint. They pay sales tax for absolutely every single other thing that they purchase. Why wouldn't they pay sales tax? Hold on, I'm just pulling up the comments so I can check out the comments. So they don't want to pay sales tax. That's annoying. And after you deal with the 50th or 100th person that doesn't think they should pay sales tax, it may frustrate you. But here's the problem. When your tone changes because they don't want to pay sales tax, now it's not about sales tax. It's not about them trying to take advantage of you. Now it's about your tone and how you're treating the customer. And that gives them grounds to now feel justified in, being combative and so on. So you're only making the situation worse by being anything less than as nice as possible. Because if you can maintain that niceness, if you can show that you're not shook by their demands and this is, you're there to help them, if you can find ways to compromise, if somebody doesn't want to pay sales tax and it's $14 on a $200 job, you can always say, hey, we have to pay sales tax. Like, it's just part of it. I can't not pay sales tax. Whether you pay the tax or I pay the tax, somebody's paying the tax on this tint job. So what I'd like to offer you, because I appreciate you as a business, is I'll pay your sales tax if you could kindly leave feedback of how you enjoyed the tint and how you liked our service. And if you've done a great job with them and you've provided them a great service, then you're about to earn yourself a review for $14. $14 in sales tax. Also a customer that could be the difference in them being a happy customer or them being, upset with you. Even worse, if they were to leave a bad review and you were to lose customers because of that nonsense, how silly is that? Because it doesn't hurt them. Like once they leave the bad review, like they're done. Like they move on to the next victim. But like your business will forever suffer from that review when people come across it. So, yeah, they have leverage. Like that's what it is. And, things balance themselves out. Before that, people didn't have leverage with businesses and businesses took advantage of people. And what's nice is this shift in technology is taking customer service in another direction. So, use it to your advantage. Use it to your advantage. That's all I really can say. I'm going to jump in the comments and see what we got here. So Patrick said, will the measurements pull up when you search a vehicle? So those measurements were for flat glass, the ones that I was showing with like the rounding and so on. When you're doing automotive and you're adding, if you want to add, the equivalent for measurements in automotive are application areas. So I can jump into that real quick actually and just show you what I'm talking about. So looking at Tint Wiz, and I'm going to pull up a project. And let's pull up this Model 3. And you can see here in application areas, you can mark if it's like the full vehicle, what film is going to go on there, and so on. And then you can add application areas right here. So you can select a part if you want to do like the sunroof, and then specify what film is going on the sunroof and so on. You can totally do that. And I wouldn't put classic on a sunroof, but let's just play pretend. And you can see that. So the measurements aren't in there. Now there is going to be a measurement area being added in there when we add measurements, when we add the inventory system for automotive. Coming up really soon is a cut sheet for flat glass, and then you're going to see the inventory implemented there as well. One of the other features, we don't necessarily typically talk about the features we're about to release because coming soon is so lame. But a feature that I'm really excited about that we're already using and just about to release to everybody is one where you can actually enter in a fixed price per film. So you could say, for example, XYZ window film is going to be $10 a square foot. And then whenever you go to quote it, you pick the film, the description automatically pops up. It already knows your square footage price. It multiplies it by the measurements, and your price is in there. So basically, all you're doing to create a proposal is just going to be selecting a film type, and the price, everything will be calculated automatically. And then we'll be doing the same idea with automotive. And then what piggybacks on that is how inventory will integrate as well and automatically calculate for that cut sheet based on the square footage and the window measurements and so on. And you can see the full process come in to where you're entering measurements, your couple clicks is sending a proposal, couple other clicks is giving you a full cut sheet and accounting for it in your inventory, keeping everything pretty seamless and very fast and efficient. So whether you're a 1 person, 10 person, you don't need any extra people, and it's convenient for anybody to use on the fly. So you said it always measures 2 inches, or I always measure 2 inches than the actual size. That's definitely, obviously a good practice. Always rounding up. Don't ever round down. If you round up, you'll always be in good shape. If you ever think you're going to round down, you could end up with too short a film just by a hair. So yeah, Michael brings up a good point. Take the time and talk on a personal level, not just a business level. You've heard the saying, they're not just buying a window film, they're buying you. And that is for sure true. They're buying you. They're buying you as an expert. They're buying you as customer service. They're buying your installation. They're buying your warranty. They're buying everything about you. You are the interaction. Of course, the product at the end of the day is the window film, but they're buying you at the beginning, in the middle, and potentially they may need to call you in the future. So it's really about you. And you'll find that if you're struggling to sell film at a high enough price, just realize we're looking at the Tint Wiz app and not me. So if you're struggling to sell window film at a higher price, selling yourself and doing a better job as a salesperson to get people to like you, trying to find common interest, look around the house, notice the painting, notice the floor, notice the rugs, notice the cars in the driveway, notice the type of the house, the type of the glass, bring it up. Oh, you can compliment the type of windows or the type of wood floor they have if you can tell the difference, or the countertops. These sort of compliments, they play on somebody's emotions. And, again, if they like you, if they want to offer you a glass of water, take that glass of water. That was a tip that, Michael reminded me of the last time I was on the phone with him was, when people are offering you things, like I know for myself, I typically say no thank you. I just, if you could offer me, would you like the most delicious sushi dinner? And I'll just say, that's okay. No thanks. I'm okay. And of course, I want it. Who wouldn't want it? But it's just something in my nature to say no. And I think when people are offering you those things, they're being inviting, they want you to say yes. So if you find yourself doing what I do, try to say yes, and take that glass of water, take that soda, bond, talk, chat a little bit, pay some compliments, and you are going to see that customers are more willing to pay you those higher amounts. They're not going to question your quote. They're not going to question your film suggestion, because once they're comfortable with you, I think you're going to find that once you've made them comfortable, they're going to go with your suggestion because they know you have the best interest in mind. They like you. They find that common bond and so on. So what's up, Matt? I saw that picture from the Philippines. It looks beautiful. Thank you for joining Tint Wizdom and watching while in such a beautiful place with, I'm sure, so many other things to do. So that means a lot. I was wondering where the tint stream or the live streams went. Yeah, I just put up the reminder about 30 minutes before the live stream, so I'll get those going a little earlier so that you can go ahead and set the reminder. Braden, absolutely Lexan Films. I know you asked. I'm going to get that added. By tomorrow, you'll have Lexan Films in there. 100% guaranteed Lexan Films will be added. If you ever see a window film that's missing from the preloaded window films, just let us know. We'll add it right away. There's a lot of films. We're adding them. We're also adding the descriptions so that when you pick a film to quote, the description's already there. You can add to it. You can edit it and so on. But it just makes sending the proposals that much faster, and it also elevates the experience for the customer because they're able to distinguish between the solutions that you provide. So look for that. So that's the comments. That's the topic for the day. So that's probably going to be the end of Tint Wizdom number 11. Thank you all for watching, and You know, if there's anything we can do, we're all about helping you in every single way. Any sort of training, any sort of how-to videos, any topics you want to see on future Tint Wisdoms. We'll be doing this forever, every single Tuesday forever. So, you know, thank you for watching, and we look forward to the next ones.